I'm Ann Ferguson. This is a live walk and talk that I do every weekday morning. All right. What I was talking about was emotional literacy and how we don't judge letter sounds or shapes. And what would it be like if we didn't judge emotions? Let me explain. A letter shape could be a P. And its sound is pa 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 pa. When we team that with an I and a G, it becomes a pig. And therefore we know that that's a pig. Now somewhere, somebody pointed to an image of a pig and told you that name of that thing is pig. That's what it is. It's a pig. So every time you saw that thing as you were a little kid, the same sounds would be made by the human who was telling you things. What is that? You have to recall the sound pig. Yep, that's a pig. That's how we're taught language, right? Well, emotionally, we have a sensation in our body, and then there is a vibration that happens. So let's say that the sensation is fluttering in your chest. There's kind of a fluttering feeling, and there's kind of a vibration. Your body's vibrating with that, and there's an event that's going on. And so we can make sense of that and go, oh, well, that's excitement. We didn't actually have anybody tell us, like point to that emotion as excitement. So instead, what we do is default to how we always do things, and that is we emote. That's where emotions come from. We emote. If we're excited, we jump up and down and we squeal, and as children, we giggle and our voice goes higher. And all of that is emoting the vibrational energy in our body with the sensations that are going on. And because of that, I can go, oh, that appears that she's excited. Now, if that is teamed with music, because it's on a movie and a soundtrack, that music vibrates, and I go, yeah, this is what I feel too, because music is vibration and helps me vibrate with the same thing. It tells me what to feel. And if you know what to feel, then you can go in and you can sweep in, you can help somebody because they're feeling a thing. The problem is we're not actually communicating what we feel. When we are literate, we know how to shape those letters. We know which letters to put together to say pig. And when we write it and we show somebody, they know exactly what our thought was. Our thought was about a pig. Super easy. And if they write the words P-I-G and hand it back to you, ta-da, pig. I know exactly what you're thinking. Well, that is clear communication. With emotions, we don't do that. Instead, so the emoting, the acting it out, what we do is we tell stories. And when we tell stories, what we're trying to do is show all of the evidence in why it's okay for us to feel a thing that we feel. Justifying the emotions. And that's what we do when we tell stories. So I went a whole day last week. I brought this idea to my friends. I've got a little group on Marco Polo, and I said, what if there's no story? What if all we do is speak the emotion? What does that do? So me and my friends played in that the whole day. The whole day. We shifted and we just spoke the emotion. And it was interesting because without the story, there is no judgment. It's just, this is what I feel. I feel accused. I feel bewildered. I feel cautious now. I'm feeling cautious. But see, without telling the story, you can't say, well, you shouldn't be cautious. Don't worry about it. Well, worry is a thing that I feel. It's totally okay to feel worried that something's going to happen again. That was weird. So without the story, that doesn't happen. The other thing that happens without the story is that the person who's receiving it, there were a couple of us, they were like, wait a minute. I want to know. Like, this is driving me crazy. What I want to know the story behind this. Why? Because without the story, you can't rescue. There is nothing to be done. I feel this. It actually was super cool because we all had emotional autonomy. Like, I was just sharing to be heard so that somebody was aware that there was emotion in me. And that's one of the things that feels very connecting, is to go, this is what I feel. When somebody understands that and say, yeah, I can see that. That's what you're feeling. Huh? It feels so validating. That's what that is. That's validation. It's so cool. But they can't rescue. They can't give advice. They can't tell me anything about what's needed. Nothing at all about what's needed. What should I do? What they would do? Why I shouldn't feel that way or try to make me feel okay. No story. I feel accused. I could say that. I could jump on here and go, I feel accused. I feel bewildered. I feel confused by it. And without the story, nobody can rescue me from it. And only speaking just my feelings made it so. I didn't feel like anybody was even supposed to rescue me from it, or help me, or read my emotions and do something about it. It was fascinating. So, what do you feel right now in this moment? I feel curious. I've got a sadness in me that most people don't pick up on, because I'm not telling a story about sadness, and I'm actually not emoting sadness. Because you can not emote, and then people don't know what's going on. They know that something's up, because that vibration, you can feel it, but, right? We keep things private by not expressing. Totally okay. But we don't feel seen. We don't feel heard when we can't express. So today, I was completely blocked from expressing emotion. There are some big emotions that are coming up based on a situation. And I really want to share what those emotions are. But the person that I'm sharing those emotions with, I'm afraid will feel blamed or responsible or blamed, like it's their fault, responsible, like they need to do something about it. That's what I feel worried about. And I sat and I struggled, man. I tried so many times to write out a text message because it's not appropriate to call at this point. And I couldn't do it because it's not safe for me to be emotionally autonomous. Like I can say, I feel sad to you guys. And honestly, there's nothing you can do. So it's okay for me to say, I'm sad. I feel disconnected. I feel alone. I feel unimportant. Insecure. I feel insecure. And for me to say that to this person, they would feel completely responsible because of relationship. And not understanding yet that I get to feel whatever I get to feel, and I'm not making you feel anything, and I'm not blaming you for what I'm feeling. So, anticipation in a good way. You've had a lot of anticipation lately, and I heard that there was a big project, so I don't know if that's your anticipation or not. But I hear you that your experience right now is anticipation. And when I connect to what anticipation feels like without your story, I can feel anticipation too, and I'm super excited for you. Isn't that fun? Like there's no story. And I can say, over there, she's feeling anticipation. And over here, I've got this weird sadness, disconnected stuff going on. And both are completely okay. That is part of emotional literacy. I understand in my body what the vibration is, what the sensation is when I anticipate. And so when she shares, I have anticipation, I have understanding. It's like when she says, hey, I'm a pig. And I go, I know what a pig is. I totally know what a pig is. Right? It's just that, anticipation. I have felt anticipation. I love anticipation, right? It's connection. You get to have your emotion. I get to have mine. And I get to say, I know what that is. So, do you know what sadness is? Have you felt that before? Have you felt dismissed? Have you felt unimportant? Have you felt insecure? It's all that's needed to go, hey, that's rough. I know what that feels like. And sorry you're experiencing it. Like, that's rough. It's all that's needed. To be seen and heard, accepted, not judged, not me proving why I deserve to feel sad. I did, because I told you that I don't feel like the other person has the ability to just hold those emotions without feeling blamed or responsible. Okay, I want you to really key into this moment right here with me for a minute. Ooh, it's gonna come up in me. I didn't feel safe to share what was going on inside me because of the reaction, misunderstanding, sense of responsibility, blame, and or shame that somebody else might feel because of relationship and the way we bounce in and out of each other. That, my friends, that is what our dear friends, our kids, and others feel when they feel so down and there's no relief. Our kids, I remember saying, I don't want to tell my mom because I don't want to make her angry. I don't want to tell my dad because he'll be disappointed. I don't want them to be concerned or worried. I'm doing that same thing in this relationship right now. I don't want to say because I don't want them to feel. And so all of the background, all of the teaching of like, it's okay for me to have an emotion and for you not to take it on. I just need to be heard and seen. That is education that we need. Because what happens, guys, when it's not just a day or a little event, when you're not seen or heard? That's when you give up. That silence, putting on the happy face, not letting you know what's actually going on inside, that's what's killing us. That is what's causing so many difficulties. I want you to understand what I'm saying. That there are people who feel so unheard and so unseen and so blocked in their ability to share because of how others will respond, that it's causing the crisis. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not in that place because I know how to express and get the right people hearing me, and I'll figure this out with this person that I need to express to. But I've got to establish my feelings are mine, your feelings are yours. I have a right to every single thing that I'm feeling. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong. It's just the letter sound, pa, pa, pa. And I'm going sad, sad, sad. We don't judge the letter shape. We don't judge the letter sound when we're reading. When I'm forming emotions that I would love to share with you, none of that energetic vibration in me, none of the sensations in my body are right or wrong. They just are. So, I am curious what it would be. Should we share it anyways? Well, that's an interesting question. So the first step that I do in this kind of situation, because I feel so much emotion, it's like it's swelling up and it just needs release. Okay, so I want you to picture Charlie in the Chocolate Factory and the gal who ate the blueberry gum. You know how she swelled up? There are emotions that build like that and build like that and build like that. And the person that we need to speak to doesn't have the skills to receive what you need to say, and it just keeps swelling. So I actually have a journal that I write when I feel this way and I am judging the other person as not having a skill set. That's a story. It's a story that's been proven a few times and got to figure that out. But I write everything that I need to as though I'm talking to the person. And so it's like I relieve the pressure and figure out what the heck I'm saying. I write out everything I need to say and without censor. Just, sometimes you got to emotionally vomit, right? Because you're so full of the emotion that's just got to get out. So I will write and be uncensored and just write until I get clearer and then say, I feel better. Now I can go to the person and say, there are things that I need to share with you so that we have clear communication and understanding. None of what I'm saying to you is your fault. None of what I'm saying to you is your responsibility to fix. There are things in our relationship and how we relate that cause some vibrational energy. Like, I don't know how you're going to say it to people who don't know how to talk this language, honestly. Let's see, how do I do that? First, you got to get them off the defensive. I need to share something with you. You might be triggered. You might feel responsible. You might feel guilty. It's totally okay that you feel that, although I'm not blaming and I'm not asking for you to fix. All I'm saying is I need you to be aware that this is my experience. Now, whether or not they can handle that, if you have expressed that and said, next thing, are you open? Are you open to me sharing what I need to share? Asking for that permission is so huge in emotional literacy and help. I know that there are lots of people who cannot hold emotion for you. They don't know anything about the fact that their emotion is okay to feel and that yours is okay to feel. And so that can be really rough. My first suggestion is to really write it all down, get it out, speak it in that. Or there's another thing that you can do, and that is to text somebody or call somebody and say, hey, I need to emotionally vomit. I got a lot of big stuff in me and I just need to just get it out of my system so I can think clearly. Do you have the ability to hold my ponytail, hold a bucket, and let me throw up all over you? We all need friends like that. So that you are really clear when you go to talk to somebody who still believes that they are responsible for somebody else's emotions or other people are responsible for their emotions. Now I'm going to go back into the beginnings of time to share why this happens. They're not bad, they're not wrong. There's an immaturity that never developed and it's totally okay. It's 100% okay. So when you were a very, very beginning human, the very first thing that you did, you were all tight, you were warm, you were comfortable, and everything was familiar. And all of a sudden, bam, there is light, there is sound, there is space, everything is weird, and the only communication you have is to cry. And they scream, and then what happens? Caregivers come, and they wrap you up tight, and they hold you and you calm down. You go, oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. And then you got this poopy thing going on and your butt hurts. You've never had that experience. Wah! You start to cry. And somebody goes, oh, let's check him. Let's fix him. Let's make him comfortable. So the pattern is, I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to emote and show how uncomfortable I am. And caregivers respond to me and take care of it so that I am comfortable. Did you know that? That's why, if we don't move beyond that, we still think that people are responsible for our experience. And why we feel we're responsible to take care of other people's experience. As a mom, oh my gosh, it's so hard, right? Because that is what you do. You got to keep your human alive. So you respond. Like this, as a dad, you respond. And then they start having emotions and they blame you for not taking care of it right. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got to take care of this. I'm doing it wrong. And thus enters the guilt phase. Now, there's another thing that happens, and that is they like talk to you so nice. And they smile and they go, oh, you're so cute. And it feels good. The vibes that come at you as a baby are so cute. And you end up smiling back. Oh my gosh, great big huge reaction. That feels so good. And then they walk away and they do things. And so you coo. And you get excited and you kind of, and then they don't come back. And wait a minute, that felt good. I want attention. So you fuss. They come back, hi. Oh man, when you giggle for the first time, so much good. And you believe that you are making them happy. Because you did a thing and they responded big, and now I made them emote all the feelings back to me that I want. So good. And then you make a choice. You go, I don't want to do what they're trying to get me to do. And I'm going to do it anyway. And then they go, no. And there's a feeling, there's a vibration that you're not sure about. And every time you do that thing, they do that thing back. And so now you've made them angry. It's fascinating how we develop this thing. So emotional immaturity is a real thing. And emotional maturity is when we start to own what we feel. And what we're going to do is all day long check in and just state what you feel, what emotions you're experiencing in the moment with no story. Because like I just said, those of you who are just joining me, when you have a story, you are telling people why it's okay that you feel what you do. When you have a story, they have some frame of reference on how to rescue or take on or reject. But if all we do is say, like for me today, I am sad. I've got a sadness in me today. I feel a block. What is that? It's not just I feel restrained. Yeah, I feel emotionally restrained because I feel distrustful that the person who I need to communicate with will jump into the blaming, shaming, responsibility, rescuing way of operating instead of just the hearing and being aware of my experience. Now, I'm really happy. I've got a smile on my face and I'm walking around because I'm not emoting any of that. So let's not emote today. Let's just express what we're feeling. In my group that I did this with, this is just a group of friends. It's not one that I teach, just a group of friends. One of the women said, oh my gosh, this was so profound. Because I actually have a really hard time feeling my emotion. And she says, when I decided not to tell the story, I actually had to go in and get really curious about me. What am I experiencing right now? What is this feeling that I'm having? She said, it was so dang good to just check in. What am I feeling? And to have a place to just express. You're not going to make anybody angry. You're not going to make anybody disappointed. You're not going to make anybody frustrated. You're not going to make anybody feel responsible. And you are free to just make people aware that you have emotion. So will you join me today in that? I just came up with this, by the way. I just thought of this. I think that anybody who is watching this, whether you're watching it live or whether you are watching it later, because I know that there are a lot of you that catch these things later, will you please check in right now and just go, what do I feel? Not even about this, just in general, what do I feel? What emotion am I having? What emotions are in my body? And type it down. Now, if you want to go all ballistic on this, get a little notebook or get your notes on your phone. And every 10 minutes, just for fun, every 10 minutes, go into that note section and just go, what emotions have I just experienced in these last 10 minutes? And write it down. It'll be fascinating and so good. None of the emotions are wrong. You're a rockin' being human. That is it. Guys, I'm glad I came today. This was really important for me. I wasn't going to walk today. I got a lot of things and I've got some inner work that I've got to do and some me time, but I felt compelled. And so I came. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you later.